So we're back at the Paro. We covered this at the time in Riobamba. At the time it was the gas subsidies. This time it's the diesel subsidies. And the rumor is that the propane tanks would go to as high as $20 a tank. That would devastate Ecuador. There was an effort with Rafael Correa to push folks to electric heating and ovens, etc. All that was a scam. Propane gas is the form of cooking, heating, mainly cooking for restaurants and families at probably 90% of this entire country. You go anywhere and they're using those tanks to basically cook a meal. In the mountains and in the Amazon, they use wood, and they could easily do that, but that's more complex, and that changes many things. So the subsidies on diesel, at some point, 1.8 billion, Noboa is pulling, he claims, or has pulled. So the Paro, which is basically roadblocks, getting very violent, have occurred from Imbabura all the way past Chimborazo, less at the coast. The coast is always less mobilized because the coast is less organized. The indigenous in the Amazon and the indigenous in the mountains are organized. They live in a community spirit, and they can do this. They're shutting access from Colombia. The very large Pana highway they built is shut. So that means all travel, buses, all industry shut. All access to Quito, access to us out here, cut. Everybody's buying at the local store all they can because no one knows how long this will go on. Noboa meets with indigenous leaders today in Otavalo, of all places. We were just there 3 weeks ago, excuse me. And he's meeting with indigenous leaders from the Amazon as well. It's an aspect of this country that's different than, say, the West. Maybe Europe has some of this, but here the country is small, defined by mountains, and it's possible to shut roads and end the process of industry and travel. There is no other way to get goods from one place to the other. Travel by truck. Buses are extremely common for all the populations to get around. So here it's possible, and that's what's happening. It's called the Paro. Google it if you wish and see for yourself. There's been some pretty intense protests, and people are not backing down at this point. Noboa, I did hear say, is not going to back down either. He figures there's a mandate because he was elected as the president. Lasso bailed out before he was impeached. The indigenous want Noboa to leave. They want to remove him completely. So their demands are great, and Noboa is notoriously known for wanting to create a kind of Miami here. At the coast, that's extremely evident. He has a house out here. But at the coast, he's failing miserably as well. The violence out here has never been this bad. In the history of the country, we're getting a Pablo Escobar sort of cartel, Sinaloa sort of cartel violence that's madness. The areas of Manabí, specifically Manta, Santa Elena, Libertad, and of course Guayaquil. Parts of Guayaquil are basically unvisitable. They're literally that dangerous. It's a war zone. So who knows what Noboa will do. His power base is dwindling quickly, and the indigenous will hold down. We'll see what negotiations happen, if any. This is the second Paro we've experienced. The first I experienced, which I covered in detail, you can see it on my fogatafilms.com channel, was extremely interesting, and we were in the area of Riobamba, and the indigenous shut it down for nearly a month. Nothing, no one, everybody just kind of went to their homes and survived. Ecuadorians are tough, and that's what's necessary if you're going to block roads, major roads, and stop travel for everyone, not just your friendly neighbors, but the profound industry that brings vegetables and pescado and all of the necessary industry from the Amazon, etc., to the marketplace, whatever that marketplace may be. So we'll see what happens.